What's up, guys? Sintani here. Gonna be bringing you some my impressions on the Necromancer that just got released yesterday for Diablo 3. And it's gonna be on Xbox One for the time being. So hopefully this video works out well, being as no matter how good your internet is, apparently it's not good enough for the Xbox app to stream to your PC. As it just kind of breezes. It's like it knew we were talking about it. But being as I had the Jimmy B's on my Xbox One account, decided to blaze through, get it up to level 70 real quick and give you guys my impressions, look through the skills. I will be doing gameplay and streams of it once I pick it up on PC, probably later this week. So be on the lookout for all that. But let's go ahead and look at all this stuff real fast. Just basically through level 70 stuff I had laying around on him. Nothing too crazy yet. Only got one of the pieces of the set so far, not really going to fit into my build though. So let's go ahead and look at the primary skills real fast. Got the bone spikes. One thing I like in this one, it pays good homage to the Necromancer from Diablo 2 while adding some new stuff, so it was definitely nice to see. So under bone spikes, it's first primary you'll get your hands on. You can read it all there, and these are the runes. It'll stun. I used that one for a while. It was pretty good. Instead of just an AoE, it'll hit one person and then two nearby enemies with large pillars, and so it's a bunch of small pillars from the ground. Didn't mess with that one at all, so don't know if it's worth damn or anything. Path of Bones, instead of an AoE, it just shoots lines of bones out in front of you, and the further away it is, the more damage it does. And then enemies hit bleed for 50% of your weapon damage is physical for 2 seconds and heal you for based off your total life over the duration. He has a lot of skills that will drain his health, but he also has a lot of skills that give him health back. Grim Scythe is your second primary. It's for a melee build. It's his only melee primary attacks, so I had fun with it when I paired it with one of the curses. Instead of having to click curse, it was just an aura, so it worked really well for melee. Enemies below 20% health have a 5% chance to be instantly killed. Slash with two scythes in front of you, pushing them together. 15% chance to increase or inflict with a random curse. Increases your max attack speed by 1% to 5, stacks up to 15. So that was the one I used when I was using it. Plus the slow effect from the cold damage was really nice for what I was using it for. And heal for 1% of your health for every enemy hit. Siphon Blood do not think it innately regens your health though. First rune you get, pulling all health globes within 40 yards. Enemies hit or slowed by 75%. Damage is increased, that's the one I use. Essence increased to 20 instead of the 15 when you're at full health. And increase the amount of health restored to 6%, so I guess it does innately regen health, because it says increase. But it no longer restores essence, so being as these are your essence generators, unless you got some other way of doing it, unless you gear to passively regen essence, I don't know. That's the one I use, so I'll just do it this way. We'll look at secondaries. First one you come across is Bone Spear. It passes through all enemies until its end duration. Kind of fun. Damage increase for every enemy Bone Spear passes through. See how many more times we can fuck these up. Launch Razor Sharp Teeth. That one was kind of fun. It just looked funny. Just throwing teeth at people in a cone. Every enemy hit has their attack speed reduced, and your attack speed is increased. So instead of piercing, now it detonates on the first enemy hit, dealing AoE damage of 500%. Weapon damage is physical. Then Blood Spear damage increased to that, but it costs health to do it. Looks like 10%. I don't know. It's all sorts messed up there on my screen. Oops. Skeletal Mage is a fun one. It's one of your other skeleton summoning ones, so normally it takes so much, lasts for 6 seconds for the way my passives are set up. And this one, they leave behind a corpse when they die or expire. This one is an AoE, not a big fan of it because he just kind of stands in one spot, so he doesn't move around like all the other ones do. Skeleton Archer, had fun with this one for a while. It was real easy to get like consistently 7 of them out with my essence pool, being as it increases my attack speed by 3% for 5 seconds up to 10 times, so I'd be able to just keep casting everything, use my primary, gain the essence back, higher attack speed, more essence, more skeletal archers. This is one I do prefer though, Singularity, being as this is the only essence consuming spell I use, unless for some reason I command my skeletons or my golem to do something, which rarely happens. Consume all essence to summon a powerful minion. This minion damage is increased by 3% for every point of essence consumed, so being as it's the only essence consuming one I use personally, he deals a crap load of damage. Usually, if it's a big fight, I can get my essence back fast enough to have 2 of them out. And they drop bosses, especially with that one. And then this one costs 10% health to cast, but lasts an additional 2 seconds. Go ahead and set him back to where he belongs. Yeah, we got all sorts messed up there. Then Death Nova, Unleash Nova, dealing 350% damage of poison to all enemies 25 yards, so AoE type of situation. Each cast increases the radius of your next Nova by 5 yards up to 2 times, so cast 2, next one's sitting at 35 yards. Does that sustain? Does it always stay at 35 or does it reset back to 25? Who knows? Now heals you for 1% of your health per target hit and reduces damage dealt to 200. So regens, but less damage. Lingering Path of Blight on the ground, slowing enemies and causing them to deal less damage. Spines radiate outwards, dealing 475% weapon damage as physical within 12 yards. So it's just a bone nova. I did see, looking through Kanai's Cube, looking at some of the legendaries, there is a legendary ring, I want to say, or it's an armor piece that was added with this, that every time he casts Bone Spear, there's a chance of Bone Nova activating at that target location. So if you're running that kind of build, might be something to try to get your hands on. And Blood Nova, spend 10% health, deals 450%, some more damage at the cost of health. And then, okay, these are your corpses ones, so these will normally be bound to your X. I have elective mode turned on, or I think it's called elective, where I can put any skill in any spot. So for my build, it's a necessity, being as I use 2 from your traditional Y spot on Xbox anyways. Corpse Explosion, targeting exploding up to 5 corpses within 11 yards, dealing 350% weapon damage as physical to enemies within 20 yards. So a little AoE thing. Explosion radius is increased. Up to 5 corpses close to you, dealing more damage as poison to enemies within 20. Corpses now explode away from you, hitting all our targets in a cone. Freeze all enemies caught in the explosion. And corpses pull themselves towards the nearest enemy before exploding, but now it costs health percentage per corpse, so maximum of 10%. Seems to be a trend. Corpse Lance. This one's fun because it just looks fun because it takes like ribs and bones from the nearby corpses to shoot in a cool little animation. Slow and reduces target damage up to 5 times. Become brittle, increasing their chance to be crit. Chance to ricochet. Stun. and spend health to launch an additional one from yourself that deals 525%. Why would you really want to do that at the cost of your health for only an extra 525 when it innately does 1750 by itself? Necromancer has some massive multipliers on him too. Like, I think he has the biggest, one of his runes for one of his skills has the biggest multiplier in the game, I do believe. At least it's the biggest one I've seen. Devour, consume corpses within so long to restore essence. This one increases maximum life by 2% for each. Additionally, consume your minions for more essence. Becomes an aura that consumes all corpses for less, no, actually for more essence. And automatically does it for more. That's impressive. And increased by 50% of your gold pickup radius, much like the aura that I used for one of the curses. Same idea. Oops. Reduces all essence cost for each consumed, and each consumed also gives you health. Let's go ahead and set this back to where it needs to be. Alright, revive. This is your traditional use the corpses on the ground to make your army bigger. You can only raise up to 10, so with all 7 of the skeletons, so 1 golem and 10 of these, plus you can have 18 right there. And then the way I have Kanai set up, I have 4 lunatics that I also summon, so that's 22. And when I was using the archers, I was hoping that, because there was a few times I did get up to 10, and we used Simulacrum, one of his ultimate abilities, when you unlock at 61, that it copies your secondary skill that I would hope to be 20, but I did find out that it caps out at 10, period. So you can get up to 10 skeletal archers too, so you can have 30 to 40, depending on how, if you set Kanai's cube to do random things or all sorts of fun stuff. You can get up to almost 40 things on the field at once, but it's a lot. Honestly, the damage of the skeletal archers compared to that singularity skeletal mage, it's kind of hard to argue with that one. Okay, revive. Back on target here. Back on track. That's what I'm looking for. Revive. Reviving up to 10 corpses, 20 yards for 19 seconds. That is also with one of my passives that increases how long my skeletal mage and my revive stay active, so I think it's base 15. Damage taken is reduced by 1% for each, so less damage if you have more. Maximum of 10%, meaning you can have 10. When you revive a corpse, enemies within 20 yards run in fear. Purgatory, this is the one I like the most, being as when they die, normally they don't be usable. They are not usable corpses, but this one makes it to where they are reusable corpses again. So you can have your army of 10, take them somewhere, they expire, turn around, revive them again, keep on going, take them wherever you need to go. Recklessness, revived minions deal extra damage but last 13 seconds. Increases the damage of revived characters by 20%, but each now costs 3% health, so it would be 30% for all 10. Alright, let's go ahead and look into the reanimation school. This is your standard Y. I do have both skeletons and golems, being as B is traditionally your curses, which not a big fan of. Honestly, in my opinion, if you're pressing a lot of buttons, I don't think you're playing Necromancer right. His job is to hit a few buttons and let his pets do the rest. Alright. Skeleton is, it automatically summons passively. I think we'll scroll down. Passive, raise skeletons from the ground every 2 seconds up to a max of 7. 50% of your weapon damage is physical per attack. So that's passive, and then you can activate it to increase their damage and tell them to target a specific target. So your first rune is Enforcer, active essence. It just reduces the essence cost for activating them or commanding them. Go into a frenzy, gaining 25% increased attack speed while they attack. But how I have Kanai's cube set, I already have Theo and Tusk set, so they already have an insane attack speed as it is, and honestly didn't see too much more with that 25%. They will heal when they're commanded to hit. So, and then target of your command is frozen. This one, they explode. 215% weapon damage is poisoned enemies within 15 yards. Little walking bombs is effectively what that turns them into. Go here. Alright, then Golem. That's this, the big one you see there, clearly. And then, let's see. Command the Golem to target area where it collapses into a pile of 8 corpses. Normally, once you command it, it just collapses into 5, so extra corpses could be used for corpse detonation, or if you don't have enough corpses to get a good sized revive off. Ice Golem, ice blast at the target area, freezing enemies for 3 seconds and increasing their chance to be critically struck by 10 for 2 seconds. Bone Golem is one I prefer. Becomes a tornado bone, carrying all nearby enemies to the target location, stuns them for 3 seconds, and deals 2000% weapon damage as physical over the duration. Decay consumes corpses at the target area, increasing its damage by 30% per corpse. I did notice when I tried it there is a timer. I'm not certain how much of a timer. He glows green, if I remember correctly, when he's boosted. So, and then this one was fun for a little while, being as you could like teleport him down into certain areas and then walk your way down there, let him deal initial damage, initiate, and tank everything until you get down there with everything else. Sacrifices itself, healing you for 25% of your health, and reconstructs at the target location. As the Golem reconstructs, tendrils, basically as he reconstructs, it looks like his veins are attacking nearby enemies. So it is a cool animation, I will give it that. Alright, let's just jump over to this one. That one's easy enough to fix. Then Army of the Dead, Skeletal Army 2. This is the one that has massive multipliers on it, but I haven't messed around with it too much, so Skeletal Army to pummel target located, dealing 12,000% weapon damage as physical in a 15-yard radius. Full AoE thing. Skeletal Hands raise up from the ground within 15 yards for 14,000% as poison. Skeletal Army knocks all affected enemies towards the center. And this one is absolutely crazy to me. 50,000% total weapon damage over 4 seconds. That is massive damage. I do not think there's a single other skill in this game with that kind of multiplier. Tramples enemies in a line, and then costs 20% health, raises Storm of the Dead that surrounds you, damaging enemies for 15,500% weapon damage over physical of 4. That could be used with a melee build, I'm sure. These are going to be in the middle of everything anyways. Land of the Dead. All corpse skills can be used at will for 10 seconds. I have not touched this skill at all because I don't push a lot of buttons. Necromancer. I have my pets. I have my main attack, and occasionally I'll summon a mage. Occasionally I'll simulacrum to summon multiple mages at once. Enemies in Land of the Dead are periodically frozen. Land of the Dead deals up to 10,000 weapon damage, is poison to enemies over its duration. Destroy 10 enemies killed. It extends the duration by 1 second up to a maximum of 2. So kill 20 enemies, it becomes a 12-second duration. Skills do not cost essence while Land of the Dead is active. And you are healed by 2% of your maximum life whenever you kill an enemy while Land of the Dead is active. Alright, these are your curses. They're traditionally going to be in your B slot. Like I said, I'm not a fan of pushing extra buttons playing Necromancer, so. Only one I ever messed with was this Frailty because it turned into an aura. And there's also a challenge for killing so many enemies under the effects of your curses. When it's an aura and you just melee everything, go into melee mode. It's real easy to get those many kills. Alright. Crepify, crippling curse that reduces the enemy's unit movement speeds and reduces damage. 10% chance to be stunned when hit. Increases potency to, well, so basically a 5-second stun. Well, 1 second stun and back to normal potency. Okay. Gain a 3% movement speed for every enemy cursed up to 30. Could be fun if you're just speedrunning, just run by, curse everything, and just keep on running. Damage reduction is increased to 40%, but no longer reduces movement speed. Gain 1% cooldown reduction for every enemy cursed up to 20. Leech, cursed enemies heal the attacker for 2% of their total health for 30 seconds. Enemies that die while cursed will spread the curse. That would be handy. Each cursed enemy increases your life regeneration by 751 per second up to 20 enemies, so it could be a lot of life per second. 751 times 20. Your potion cooldown is reduced by 1 second. I think they could have done better with that. Especially being as he already has so much lifesteal, and specifically this curse is lifesteal. Yeah, they could have done a lot better with that one, actually, in my opinion. Whenever cursed enemy dies, you are healed for 200% of your life per kill. Curses the ground, healing you for 1% of your maximum life every second for every enemy in the cursed area. Okay. Frailty, this one's a fun one. Crippling curse that kills enemies with less than 15% health. That's why it's really handy to be in melee mode. Have it on aura. Anytime anyone got below 15%, they just died. I think it could be fun to combo that with the decapitating scythe rune. Because that has a 5% under 20% health. If it doesn't work with the scythe, then you know you gotta fail safe. I don't know. Maybe just be a little too redundant. 15% increased damage from your minions. So cursed enemies explode on death. Aura. This one is the Aura 1. Within 15 yards, curses all enemies, and 50% of your gold pickup it'll increase by 2 essence when a cursed enemy dies. And triggers at 18% life, it costs 10% of your health. So those are your curses, traditionally in your B slot. Said I really only used the Aura one for frailty. These are all your right bumper ones. Bone armor. Animation for this one does look pretty fucking awesome, not gonna lie. Rips bones from nearby enemies. There's also a challenge to use bone armor while fighting the Skeleton King. Got a very punny name to it, Game of Bones. Rip bones from nearby enemies, dealing 125% weapon damage. So it damages and then creates armor that reduces your damage taken by 3% per enemy hit, up to 30% per a minute. Oops. Increases damage dealt to another 20% weapon damage. Stuns them. Your armor absorbs all incoming damage and grants immunity to control, but only lasts 5 seconds. So you could use it for little bubble. Also increases your movement speed by every enemy hit. And then costs health, but increases your life per second by 10% for every enemy hit. So that could be up to 100% of your life per second. So you could double your life per second with that one. Bonus Spirit. Launches a spirit. This one you gain a charge every 15 seconds. You can store up to 3. And then recharge time is reduced by 1 second for every corpse you consume. I don't think that's that important. But that's my thoughts on it. 4,000% weapon damage on impact. Damage is increased by 15% for each enemy that the Bone Spirit passes through while seeking its target. I could see this a lot more useful on the PC version, whereas you have the mouse to control exactly where everything goes, so you can put something in the back of the line just to nuke it. Whereas on Xbox, it's more of a smart cast, just sends it in a random direction you're facing. Enemies within 10 yards of feared. Good job there. Feared for 2 seconds when Bone Spirit detonates. Maximum charge is 4. When I was using it, that's one I used just because. I mean, that's probably the one I would have used. That's a lot of damage, but AoE would have been nice. Well, now Charm at the cost of 5% health. So honestly, I did like that one better, have 4 charges. If you need to nuke something down, that's 16,000% of your weapon damage. Blood Rush, costs 5% of your health. Say a little teleport. Pretty cool animation on it. I used it for a little bit because I did not know what to put in the slot at that time. Increases your armor by 100% for 2 seconds after casting it. Heals for 2% of your maximum health for every enemy you pass through. So if you're trying to reposition through a lot of enemies, I mean, that makes that completely free. Leaves a corpse at your original location when used. Removes the health cost. Even that's always nice. And provides an additional charge that doubles the health cost. Simulacrum. This is effectively your ultimate. You unlock it at level 61. I am definitely a fan of it, being as how I have my Skeletal Mage set up to drain all of my essence and drop massive damage. Create a Simulacrum made of blood that will duplicate your secondary skills for 15 seconds. So a Simulacrum, cast Skeletal Mage. There's 2 of them, dealing massive amounts of damage. I did disgustingly easy time with Diablo on the one right below Torment. I just drew an absolute blank on what it's called. Right, Diablo simple on Multipliers, excuse me. I actually was using this rune, where you get a Simulacrum of Bone also, but it's reduced down to 10 seconds with these. I only use it to cast another Skeletal Mage that gave me 3 against the second stage in Multipliers, and it just destroyed him. So these are your runes. When active, curse skills now apply all 3 curses, so you can use it to Simulacrum, drop curses on things all around you, and make it all 3. Could be a tactic. This is the one I used before I got Blood and Bone that made that Skeletal Mage even more powerful, being as it drains all my essence. Your maximum essence is increased by 100% while it's active, so it dealt a lot of damage, but I think the 3 is still more damage. Barely. This one would be kind of cool, like if you're in a bad spot and you happen to have it equipped. You know you're about to die, can't do anything about it, pop Simulacrum real fast, and instead this Simulacrum is destroyed and you're fully healed. Life costs are reduced by 70% while Simulacrum are active, so if you're using a life cost build, that could be a good one because it'll save you a lot of health. Granted, the cost of Simulacrum is 25% health, but with the way my build is set up right now, I have enough life per second, life per hit that I don't even see the cost of casting it. So, and then yeah, that one. I use Simulacrum of Bone and Blood, so you get 3 of them. You can just drop 3 mages right off the bat. The passives are kind of interesting. That's what I have in Kanai right now. Probably going to change the weapon. I just figured it'd be fun to have another summon. Summon lunatics. I can have up to 4 of them. And it is kind of fun, because they do explode, deal considerable AoE damage, so it is fun to play around with. These are your passives. Consuming a corpse increases your movement speed up to 10 times for 5 seconds. Consuming a corpse has a 20% chance to spawn a health globe. Increase your armor by 100%, reduced by 10% for every active minion, so I mean that would be a great one if you're not using any pets whatsoever, which, in my opinion, you're playing Necromancer wrong. The idea is to have pets. Bone Prism, this one I was using when I was still using Bone Spikes a lot. 30% chance to trap enemies in a Bone Prism for 3 seconds. Essence cost to command skeletons and the cooldown of command golem are reduced by 30%. It'd be great if you're using the commands a lot, but I don't find myself using them a lot, especially being as I have a legendary gem socketed for increase my pet minions attack damage, and then Kanai is set to increase their attack speed. They don't normally need to be commanded to do much of anything. Increase the attack speed of Bone Spike, Second Blood, and Grim Scythe by 15% just to give me faster attacks, give me that essence back so I can get more Skeletal Mages up if I need them. Increases the duration of Skeletal Mage and Revive by 25%. Poison ability is also slow by 30%, reduce their attack speed for 30% for 5 seconds. If you're running like a full poison build, I would say that would be really handy to have. Increases my maximum essence to make the Skeletal Mage more powerful. When using a scythe, as in the weapon scythe, not the skill scythe, gain 2% essence and life per kill. God, I've been rambling on for almost half an hour. Save 1% damage bonus for every enemy afflicted by one of your curses. If you're using a lot of curses, then sure, why not? But Your curses cost 50% less essence and last forever. That could be actually really handy for a curse build. You take lethal damage, you are sustained, preventing all damage for 4 seconds. In addition, all minions are consumed to heal you 10% of your life. This effect cannot happen more than once a minute. This one I tossed around using, but then I kind of looked at some of the random gear I had sitting around for level 70 and decided that the other fourth one that you see down there selected, that one was a better one. You're healed by 10% of your life on hit when one of your minions hits an enemy. Very handy. Oh, there we go. There's a little bit of Xbox app lag. Draw life, increase your life regeneration by 10% for every enemy within 20 yards. Restoration, Bone Spikes, Bone Spear, and Bone Spirit deal 1% increased damage for every 1.5 yards from you, up to a maximum of 20%. So, in this one, your minions gain 200% of your thorns. Being as most of the gear that worked out well for him had a lot of thorn damage on it, I figured, well, why the hell not? I'll show you what my thorn damage is right now. Granted, his gear needs a lot of work, but being as I just hit 70 like early this morning and then had to work before I did the video. Picking up a health globe removes the health cost of your next blood spell. This effect can stack up to 10 times. I thought about running that just to make sure that Simulacrum never costed me any health, but said with how my life per second, life per hit is right now with this build, I don't even notice the cost of it, honestly. Blood is power. After cumulatively losing 100% of your life, all ability cooldowns are reduced by 20%. This effect cannot reduce an ability more than once for each time the ability is used. I could see that being used with a lot of the health cost spells, where you're running a lot of cooldowns. The way mine is set up, that's absolutely useless. Cannot lose life for 4 seconds after using Land of the Dead, Army of the Dead, or Simulacrum. Could be really handy, like I said, because it defeats the purpose. It could just sustain, I guess, if you're in a really bad spot with the Simulacrum rune where it kills the Simulacrum instead of you. Just give you a little bit more time to try to reposition if you have to, I don't know. But that's about it for the skills. Honestly, in my opinion, not... I'm sure, especially in the next season, we'll see a lot of Necromancers, not just because they're new, because they are absolutely powerful. They have some of the most powerful multipliers, biggest multipliers I think I've seen. So it'll be really interesting in the next season how many Necros we see running around. I'll show you this real fast. So I decided to run the Thorn one for my minions because I'm sitting at 21,000 Thorns, so I get them 42,000 points worth of Thorns. Definitely a lot of fun there. When they attack a minion, they just die. Yeah, that's about it for Necromancer. Those are the fallen lunatics. When I attack, I can get a fallen champion. Like I said, more than likely going to change that. Those are the wings you get with the when you buy, and that's also the pet you get when you pick up the expansion. And then they also give you cosmetic, that frame for your portrait. Honestly, they've added new enemies, I guess, in new areas, which I have seen neither of. Granted, it was pretty much a speed run through the game just to get to level 70. So I have to get this video done for you guys. 15 bucks on the price point, basically just for the class. Seems a bit much. Granted, I didn't care because I've been a Necromancer Diablo fanboy since Diablo 2. So that's why I really liked the Witch Doctor in it, because it was the closest thing you could get to the Witch Doctor. But you also get this pennant. Give you some cosmetic stuff, but effectively you're paying $15 to play the Necromancer. Which, like I said, I'll be picking it up on PC, so even more money to Blizzard. Good job, guys. He is, as you can definitely see, as I point at the screen, you can't even see. But as you see, he is intelligence-based, being as he is effectively a mage. I'm sure the intelligence skilling doesn't surprise too many people. Yeah, he uses his like unique weapon is scythe, and then phylactery is his unique offhand. He can also use some shields and whatnot. So, granted, I think shield might be fun, but yeah, that's about it. I mean, like I said, the armor definitely needs work. So I'm sure I'll see some things in the comment of people saying the armor sucks, but he's freshly 70. I just threw together things that I had, things that looked fun from my storage. Once he hits 70, I mean, it's the only one that's not level 70 yet. But that is almost 40 minutes of me rambling on about a quick video. Did look up the actual legendary sets that they did release for him, so go over those real fast. Bones of Rothma. It's a skeleton-focused build. 2-set bonus, your minions have a chance to reduce the cooldown of Army of Dead by 1 second every time they deal damage. 4-set, 1% damage reduction for 15 seconds each time one of your minion deals damage, maximum of 50 stacks. That is insane, 50% damage reduction for 15 seconds, and if you're in the middle of a fight, especially the way my skills are set for Kanai's Cube, they're attacking all the damn time. And each active skeletal mage, and this one doesn't do shit for me, being as I drain my entire essence for it. This one would be fun to go back to like skeletal archers and have 7 of them out constantly. Each active skeletal mage increases the damage of your minions and Army of Dead by 250%. So with Army of Dead, you're using Army of Dead and unconventional warfare. That's 50,000 times another 250%. I mean, does that just add on to the 50%, or does it in 250% of 50,000? Interesting thing to think about there. And then Togul's Avatar, this is a blood set. Blood Rush gains the effect of every rune at 2, while at full life or healing from skills is added to your maximum life for 45 seconds to 100% more for 4. Then 6, your life spinning abilities deal 3,300% increased damage but cost twice as much health. Your healing from skills increased by 100%. Grace of Inarus, this is a melee thorn style build, so it may be something I look into. Granted, I'm kind of running of a hybrid here, so I mean, I don't know. I do have the helm for Grace of Inarus. I mean, 2-set bonus is bone armor increased by, or bone armor damage, excuse me, is increased by 1,000%. 4, bone armor grants an additional 2% damage reduction for any hit, and 6, bone armor also activates a swirling tornado of bone, damaging nearby enemies for 750% weapon damage, increasing the damage they take from the Necromancer by 2,750%. And then the Pestilence Master's Shroud, this is a bone spear focused one. 2, each corpse you consume fires a corpse lance at the nearby enemy. So clearly bone spear and consume corpse type of build. 4, every enemy hit with a bone spear reduces your damage taken by 2% up to a maximum of 50, lasts for 15 seconds. Then 6, each corpse you consume grants an empowered bone spear charge that increases the damage of your next bone spear by 3,000%. Then they also got a little side thing that only has a 2-set bonus, the Jessith Arms. I butchered that name. But 2%, or 2-set bonus, excuse me. When the target of your command skeleton dies, your skeletons are automatically commanded to attack a nearby target. And while your skeletons are commanded to attack a target, all your minions deal 400% increased damage. And that one might not actually be too bad, just to have an extra little 2-set around. And yeah, they got some fun new legendary items, like Siphon Blood drains from 2 additional targets also.
Much longer, I am going to rob you. Just so you know.
Shut up. No one asked you. Another one. No, that one would be kind of useless. This one would be a really good one. Scythe of the Cycle. Your secondary skills deal 250 to 300% additional damage while bone armor is active, but reduce the remaining duration of bone armor by 4 seconds. So it could be kind of fun to throw bone armor into this build somehow. And then activate bone armor, activate simulacrum, activate all 3 skeletal mages for an additional damage on those guys. I'd have to probably get rid of revive in order to pull that off. Attacking with Siphon Blood has a 40 to 50% chance to cast a free Blood Nova. Could be fun. Thing to throw on Kanai Cube. I'd give you a 50% chance, being as Kanai gives you the maximum. There's that one that I was trying to remember. Fate's Vow, Army of the Dead gains the effect of Unconventional Warfare Rune automatically. Be a great thing to throw into the cube and then still use it on some other rune. Your golem sheds a corpse every second. Keep your corpse economy up, I guess. Golem skin breaches. Your golem damage increased by 100 to 125%, and you take 30% less damage while it's activated, while it's alive. Yeah, attacking with bone spikes has a 20 to 30% chance, so in the cube it'll be 30% to cast a bone nova at the target location. Be fun. This one is definitely something I want to find and get cubed. Circle of Naluj Evolve. You now raise an additional skeletal mage with each cast, and they last an additional, in the cube it'll be 4 seconds, but an additional 2 to 4 seconds. With the Simulacrum of Blood and Bone, with that, 6 of those ridiculously overpowered mages. That's some boss fighting techniques there. And that's about all the really fun ones that I saw, looking through them all. So, yeah, I think I'm done rambling on 45 minutes later nearly. But looks like everything recorded well off the Xbox. So, like I said, later this week I will be picking it up on PC and doing live streams and probably posting videos about the journey through. Probably just take the live streams over to YouTube and post them. So, as always, thank you guys for stopping by. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like what you saw, hit the like button. Don't forget to put in the comments what you guys are running on the builds if you're playing, and let me know what you guys think of the Necromancer. I think that's about it for me today. See you guys.